Next on Worcester News Tonight. Video captures dozens of kids riding bikes through one of Worcester's busiest intersections. Plus, a report shows the city of Worcester is attracting younger residents. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Chandler Walsh. Another sunny and beautiful fall day in the city. How long will the warmer temperatures stay? Let's get a first look at our local forecast with meteorologist Pamela Gardner.
Hey there, good evening. I'm meteorologist Pamela Gardner. Well, we've had a couple beautiful days here across central Massachusetts, and now we have a first alert declared for Wednesday night and Thursday. And this as we prepare for our next coastal storm. Rain and wind expected Wednesday evening through Thursday morning. Most of New England will experience this next storm, and some power outages will be likely out of it as well. Overnight tonight, though, no need to worry about any storms waking you up in the middle of the night. We actually have a clear sky, and temperatures will fall into the upper 30s to low 40s. Tomorrow afternoon, upper 50s to low 60s. And again, it's going to be a dry start to the day, but then as the day goes by, you'll notice the clouds increase, the wind increases a little bit, and this is where we track in our rain chance after 9 o'clock. So the evening commute is looking just fine too. Really the brunt of the storm moving in after 11 o'clock on Wednesday. Coming up in a few minutes, I'll have more on the hour-by-hour timing and how much wind we could expect, all in your 10-day.
The victim in the fatal stabbing at O'Connor's restaurant made several efforts to protect herself from the man who was charged with killing her. Amanda Dabrowski tried to file for a restraining order against ex-boyfriend Carlos Asensio because she feared for her life. Asensio stabbed Dabrowski to death at O'Connor's restaurant in July. Tim Murray was among a group of people who tried to stop Asensio inside the restaurant. The former lieutenant governor says it's a tragedy, and Dabrowski did everything she could to protect herself.
You know, the judge granted it. She took all the precautions. She engaged her family. I mean, she did everything that you're supposed to do when threatened with domestic violence. The question is, you know, how did this individual get back into the country without standing warrants? And, you know, first and foremost, you know, her family and people that knew and loved her want to know that as well as other people, because it's a failing in the system that needs to be fixed.
Asensio was suspected of trying to kill Dabrowski months prior, breaking into her home. Authorities say he fled to Canada and then Mexico. How he got back into the country is under investigation. A parade of bicycles riding through Worcester's Kelley Square sparks concern in the neighborhood. But for some in the area, it's been a problem for quite some time. Our Cam Jandro is in Worcester with reaction. Cam?
Chandler, Kelley Square is already one of the busiest intersections in the state of Massachusetts. You can imagine what it looked like when 30 bikes or so came running through the intersection, bringing traffic to a complete stop. Well, for some people who've lived in the area for some time, this is something that happens quite often, and that is the problem. Cell phone video captures dozens of kids riding their bikes through Worcester's Kelley Square. Kevin Johnson lives in the neighborhood. He says this happens a lot.
Especially all through the summer. Especially through the summertime, coming through here and going down these side streets. These kids just, you know, do what they choose.
The incident took place Monday afternoon around 1 o'clock. The video also captures someone on a dirt bike cutting through the intersection, holding up traffic. Last year, the state listed Kelley Square as the most common place for accidents in the state, which makes incidents like Monday's alarming for Johnson.
It's very dangerous for the drivers, first and foremost, and for the kids. And I believe a kid might have gotten pecked like last week. He wasn't sure, but like because they don't care. They're worried. They're busy having fun. They don't care about the safety of the drivers and the people involved.
Now, Worcester Police is aware of the situation. Johnson says most of these incidents occur after school, and that's when traffic can unfortunately be at its worst, which is why he hopes something can be done to prevent these in the future. In Worcester, I'm Cam Jandro, Worcester News Tonight.
The Auburn Police Department is warning people of a paving company they say is known for doing shoddy work. According to Auburn Police, the company is uninsured and has been going door to door looking for work. The company is called Firmbase, and they have an address in Westboro, but Westboro police say they're not registered in town or in the state. Police in Marlborough also say they've caught crews soliciting work several times. The police are warning residents to think twice before hiring this company and letting them on your property. Recent Census Bureau information shows Worcester's population is growing, especially in the 25 to 34 age range. It's a good number for the city, who has worked years to attract and keep younger workers here.
Part of the continuing story of Worcester growing and changing.
Data from the Census Bureau shows adults ages 25 to 34 are moving to Worcester at a greater rate than any other age group. The Worcester Regional Research Bureau says it's long been the goal for the city, and they've made adjustments to downtown to draw people here.
So that there's walkability, there's foot traffic, and there's people living, working, and enjoying downtown.
The Research Bureau's Paul Matthews says there's significant retail and residential growth downtown, and more employers are looking for skilled employees. Some say as Worcester grows, it's becoming a more exciting place to live.
The new residential and market down by Kelley Square, I feel like that's one attraction that's up and coming. There's also the stadium that's being built around there too.
Worcester is expanding compared to where it used to be. There's a lot of new people coming in from Boston, from New York, from all around.
Matthews says it's hard to tell if Worcester is attracting this young demographic at a faster rate than other cities. He says the Census Bureau's next 5-year report will show long-term trends.
This is a positive development for the city, and it's one where the city is frankly reaping dividends of a long-standing focus and commitment.
The Polar Park construction project is exceeding goals for hiring people of color and women, and is closing in on its target for hiring Worcester residents. Numbers given to the Worcester Redevelopment Authority show so far almost 19% of the hours worked are by city residents. The project's goal is 25%. Goals on employing women and people of color at the site have been surpassed. A German-based manufacturing facility is expanding in central Massachusetts. Muji Corporation opened its new, larger facility Tuesday. The 26,000-square-foot expansion features high-performance machining technology. President Bob Hellinger says the new facility will change how people think about metal cutting and machinery.
It's not the old oily, grimy type of manufacturing people might think of when they think metal cutting. That's not what we do here. We're grinding equipment, but it's very clean operations, and we're proud of it, so we wanted to show it off.
Emuge is located in West Boylston. They currently employ 75 workers, and Hellinger says the new facility will bring in more jobs. The Worcester City Clerk's office is reminding residents the deadline to register for this fall's municipal election is coming fast. Wednesday is the last day to register to be eligible to vote in November's fall election. Worcester's municipal election includes races for mayor, city council, and school committee. It will be held on Tuesday, November 5th. Tonight, a special town meeting in Auburn will vote on a proposed bylaw to reduce single-use carry-out plastic bags. If passed, the ban will take effect in April of 2020. In May, voters overwhelmingly supported a non-binding referendum to ban single-use plastic bags. Exceptions would be allowed for items like frozen food, fresh meat and produce, and prescription medications. The special town meeting will take place at Auburn High School. One of Worcester's most historic buildings reopens today. The Stearns Tavern is a combined project of the City of Worcester, Preservation Worcester, and the Seven Hills Foundation. It's now ready for the next stage in its long history. Our Erin Keating was at today's ribbon-cutting ceremony. She joins us now with more. Erin?
Chandler, 3 years ago to the day, Stearns Tavern moved from its location on Park Avenue to its current one on Mill Street. Since then, different organizations throughout the city work to preserve the historic building. The new Seven Hills Cafe is open for business. They're selling coffee, cookies, and snacks inside the newly renovated Stearns Tavern.
1, 2, 3.
The tavern opened to the public Tuesday. The historic structure was moved to Mill Street in 2016, and Preservation Worcester led efforts to restore it. City manager Ed Augustus grew up a block away from the new location. He says the project was extra special for him.
This is something that everybody who lives in this neighborhood or drives through this neighborhood looks at and looks to with pride.
More than 115 organizations donated their services to the project.
One thing, when you restore a building, you want a purpose. And what could be a better purpose and a better steward than what we have in Seven Hills?
Members of the Seven Hills Foundation will run the cafe while also maintaining the landscape during the winter months. President David Jordan says it's a huge opportunity.
We are delighted for our participants so that they can demonstrate the dignity and the value that they bring to any community.
Special Projects Coordinator Phil Nidry has worked on the tavern since its relocation. He admits there were a few times where he didn't know if the project could be completed.
I remember looking at it along with other people and saying, how are we going to do it? How is this going to happen? So to have today happen is a great feeling of relief, but certainly accomplishment for an awful lot of people.
To everybody who was involved in this, thank you very much. You've done something very special.
Augustus says the next step will be to expand the parking lot so more people can visit the tavern. In studio, Aaron Keating, Worcester News Tonight.